What if three major world religions had been declaring the same miraculous health secret for thousands of years, and modern science is only just catching up? Including the staggering claim of showing honey outperforming modern antibiotics in fighting superbugs. The Quran dedicates an entire chapter to bees, proclaiming honey as a healing for mankind, whilst the Bible references honey 22 times as divine nourishment. Every Jewish New Year begins with apples dipped in honey, a tradition symbolizing sweetness and health for the year ahead, and there's profound wisdom here. In the next 10 minutes, you'll discover 7 scientifically proven health benefits of honey that validate what ancient scriptures have always proclaimed about this golden substance. From digestive healing to wound recovery, these aren't folk remedies anymore, because cutting-edge research is revealing the biological mechanisms behind honey's miraculous properties. And benefit number 7? It's the one that heals wounds doctors once thought untreatable, backed by 2024 clinical trials showing honey outperforming modern antibiotics in fighting superbugs. Before we dive into the science, let's understand why these ancient texts placed honey on such a sacred pedestal in the first place. The Quran states explicitly that from the bee's belly comes a drink of varying colors wherein is healing for people, a declaration made 14 centuries ago. The Bible promises the Israelites a land flowing with milk and honey, positioning honey as the symbol of abundance, prosperity, and divine blessing throughout Scripture. In Jewish tradition, Rosh Hashanah begins with tasting honey because sweetness represents hope, healing, and the promise of a healthy year filled with divine favor and protection. Today, thousands of peer-reviewed studies confirm what prophets and sages knew instinctively, so let's explore each benefit, starting with the digestive system's remarkable transformation when honey enters. Benefit 1. For centuries, people suffered from digestive ailments without understanding the root causes or finding lasting relief from their symptoms. Stomach ulcers, gastritis, and inflammatory bowel conditions plagued humanity, and whilst remedies existed, nothing seemed to address the underlying inflammation and bacterial imbalances causing such misery. The first benefit is honey's remarkable ability to heal digestive problems and stomach ailments, and the Quran's description of honey as a healing becomes strikingly literal here. Prophet Muhammad himself recommended honey for diarrhea, stating in hadith that healing lies in 3 things: drinking honey, cupping therapy, and cauterization, though he discouraged the latter. Modern research published in journals like Phytotherapy Research reveals that honey contains prebiotics that nourish beneficial gut bacteria while simultaneously destroying harmful pathogens like Helicobacter pylori. Clinical trials show honey reduces inflammation in the digestive tract, promotes healing of stomach ulcers, and restores the delicate microbial balance essential for optimal digestion and nutrient absorption. Benefit 2. But digestive health is just the beginning, because the second benefit extends honey's protective power throughout your entire immune system, creating shields against countless threats. Honey boosts immunity and protects against illness, and the Quran's declaration that it heals every illness suddenly doesn't sound like exaggeration when you examine the immunological evidence. The challenge humanity faced was constant vulnerability to infections, viruses, and diseases that weakened communities and shortened lifespans, especially before modern medicine emerged to combat these threats. Honey contains polyphenols, flavonoids, and antimicrobial compounds that stimulate immune cell production, enhance white blood cell activity, and create an environment hostile to pathogenic invaders throughout the body. Studies in journals like Food Science and Nutrition demonstrate that regular honey consumption increases lymphocytes and phagocytes, the frontline defenders that patrol your bloodstream hunting for threats. Benefit 3. The third benefit addresses one of the most common ailments plaguing both ancient and modern populations: persistent coughs and respiratory illness that disrupt sleep and drain vitality. The Hadith records that honey mixed with warm water was recommended for throat ailments, and today's pediatricians increasingly suggest honey over cough suppressants for children over age 1. Research published in the Archives of Pediatric and Adolescent Medicine found that honey outperformed dextromethorphan, a common cough suppressant, in reducing nighttime coughing and improving sleep quality. Honey coats the throat, reduces irritation, and possesses antimicrobial properties that fight respiratory infections while soothing inflamed tissues, providing relief that's both immediate and healing simultaneously. Now we arrive at a turning point in our journey, because the next benefits shift from fighting illness to enhancing performance, vitality, and the quality of life. Benefit 4. Honey's ability to provide sustained energy and natural fuel, and here the biblical references to honey take on profound metabolic significance for active lives. When Jonathan, son of Saul, ate honey in 1 Samuel, the Bible records that his eyes brightened and his strength returned immediately after days of exhausting battle fatigue. This wasn't poetic license, because honey contains a perfect blend of glucose and fructose that provides immediate energy whilst also sustaining blood sugar levels for extended periods. Unlike refined sugar that spikes glucose and crashes energy, honey's complex carbohydrate profile releases steadily, fueling muscles and brain without the rollercoaster effect of processed sweeteners. Athletes worldwide now use honey as a natural performance enhancer, and studies show it matches commercial energy gels whilst providing additional antioxidants and anti-inflammatory benefits during intense exercise. Benefit 5. Reveals honey's impact on the organ consuming 20% of your body's energy, your brain, and this is where cognitive transformation truly begins. Honey enhances cognitive function and brain health, and biblical wisdom extolling honey's sweetness may have intuited its neurological benefits that scientists are only now beginning to fully understand. Proverbs declares that eating honey is good, and finding wisdom brings sweetness to the soul, drawing a connection between honey consumption and mental clarity that modern neuroscience validates. Research demonstrates that honey's antioxidants cross the blood-brain barrier, protecting neurons from oxidative stress and inflammation that contribute to cognitive decline and neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. Studies show honey improves memory formation, enhances learning capacity, and reduces anxiety by modulating neurotransmitter systems, particularly those involving acetylcholine, which governs memory and attention processes. The turning point in understanding honey shifted from viewing it merely as food to recognizing it as medicine, and the sixth benefit illuminates this transformation most dramatically. Benefit 6. Honey provides antioxidant protection and anti-aging benefits, and Jewish texts celebrating honey's sweetness at Rosh Hashanah symbolically capture the desire for prolonged, healthy, vibrant life. The challenge every human faces is cellular aging driven by free radicals, those unstable molecules that damage DNA, proteins, and cellular membranes, accelerating the aging process. Darker honeys especially, like buckwheat and Manuka, contain extraordinary concentrations of polyphenols that neutralize free radicals before they can wreak havoc on your cells and tissues. Research in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry reveals that honey's antioxidant capacity rivals that of fruits and vegetables, providing cellular protection that translates into healthier aging. Regular honey consumption has been linked to reduced markers of oxidative stress, improved cardiovascular health, and decreased risk of chronic diseases associated with inflammation and cellular damage. Now we reach the climax of honey's healing power, and this seventh benefit represents modern medicine's most stunning validation of ancient sacred texts about honey's miraculous properties. Benefit 7. Honey heals wounds fast, and this isn't metaphorical healing anymore, because hospitals worldwide are rediscovering what battlefield medics and ancient healers always knew about topical honey applications. For decades, antibiotic-resistant infections plagued surgical wards and burn units, creating wounds that refused to heal despite aggressive pharmaceutical interventions, leaving patients suffering and desperate for solutions. Then researchers began testing medical-grade honey on chronic wounds, diabetic ulcers, and severe burns, and the results stunned even the most skeptical clinicians who'd abandoned natural remedies. Clinical trials published in 2024 demonstrate that honey outperforms conventional antibiotics against drug-resistant bacteria including MRSA, the superbug terrorizing modern hospitals and care facilities worldwide. Honey creates a moist healing environment, draws out infection through osmotic pressure, releases hydrogen peroxide that kills bacteria, and stimulates tissue regeneration simultaneously through multiple complementary mechanisms. Studies show wounds treated with honey heal faster, with less scarring, reduced pain, and lower infection rates compared to standard wound dressings, revolutionizing treatment protocols globally. The Quran's declaration that honey heals every illness finds its most literal fulfillment here, where medicine comes full circle, returning to nature's pharmacy after decades of synthetic alternatives. So now you've seen the evidence, and you understand why 3 major religions elevated honey to sacred status, but knowledge without action remains merely interesting information. How should you take honey to maximize these 7 scientifically proven benefits and honor the wisdom preserved in sacred texts throughout millennia of human experience and observation? Start with 1 tablespoon of raw, unprocessed honey daily, preferably in the morning on an empty stomach, allowing your digestive system to absorb its beneficial compounds fully. For respiratory issues, mix honey with warm water or herbal tea, but never boiling water, because excessive heat destroys the delicate enzymes and beneficial compounds that provide healing. Choose darker varieties like Manuka, buckwheat, or forest honey for maximum antioxidant content, and ensure it's raw and unpasteurized to preserve the living enzymes and beneficial properties. Remember that honey is powerful medicine, not just sweetness, so treat it with the reverence ancient traditions demonstrated, using it intentionally for health rather than merely for flavor. The ancient texts weren't wrong, and modern science isn't contradicting faith here, but rather illuminating the biological brilliance embedded in creation and preserved through sacred wisdom traditions. If this journey through honey's healing powers inspired you, subscribe now for more explorations where ancient wisdom meets cutting-edge science, revealing truths that transform health and life.